Welcome back. It is Daybreak Africa. If you just joined us, and we're about to begin our discussion this morning. If you missed when we started the show, then let me let you understand what we're talking about this morning. Let me also say happy independence, because for me, I'm still in the mood and spirit of Nigeria's independence. Happy that we got the independence, happy that we're alive, and happy that we're all here to actually celebrate the 64th anniversary independence of Nigeria. Be that as it may, there are issues arising from all of that, the reason why we are here this morning. Now, we're talking about the president this morning, but before then, let me introduce our guest as we take a look at the 64th anniversary, Tinubu'S anniversary speech, and of course, other speeches made by Tinubu. We want to take a look at those speeches vis-a-vis the 64th independence anniversary speech given by the president. But we have a guest in the house. He is Dr. Akinlo Taiwo, an economist as well as social critic. He is a lecturer at the Department of Economics at the Federal University of Education, Ondo. He has an ordinary national diploma, OND, in economics and statistics, a Bachelor of Science degree in economics from the University of Ado-Ekiti. He has MSc, Masters of Science, and a PhD, Doctor of Philosophy from Obafemi Awolowo University. He is also a member of the Council for the Development of Social Sciences Research in Africa. It's so nice to have you on Daybreak Africa this morning. So, yes, still in the spirit of the independence, there is no way we cannot talk about our president. And of course, the reason for the discourse this morning is the speech given on that particular day of Nigeria's independence, October 1st. Aside that, we want to also take a look at all three speeches. We're going to pick the three: the inaugural, the End Bad Governance speech, and of course the 64th independence anniversary speech given by the president. But before we go into all of that, I just must ask you as a Nigerian to let us into your anniversary mode. You celebrated the 64th independence, and of course what you have to say, the journey thus far.
Thank you so much. It's just like I will not be speaking about myself alone. Just like I'll be speaking on behalf of Nigerians as regarding the independence. Because of the economic situation in Nigeria today, it's just like independence does not even has any meaning to Nigerians anymore. We just see it as ordinary. It's a day like other days. Apart from the holidays. Apart from that day, it's holiday where people will stay back at home. But unlike before, where Independence Day used to be a happy day, a day that we want our children to remember that we actually gain our independence. But now, looking at those old time where all the students in secondary school, primary school, they will gather in one place. They will actually have very nice time. Government will distribute so many school items to them. But today, just like nothing's happening anymore. We just wake up that day, we will hear the president's speech, and everybody will go about our normal business. Why? Because we are not where we're supposed to be, and we are majority of us who are not even proud of our country now. So that's exactly why Independence Day does not even have any meaning to us again.
So you're trying to let us understand that as a parent, apart from the fact that there was a public holiday, there was no celebration in your house.
I thought everybody is struggling to survive. What is in the mind of people now is how to survive. So people don't, because that day we know, if we don't try to survive, that day we not provide food on your table. You have so many things to think about. School fees is there. Talk about how you're going to get to work, the economic situation, the high cost of food. And all. That is what we are bothering about now. So everybody is just struggling to survive. So
Because
that's why.
yes, I remember while growing up as a child, Independence Day was like another Christmas at my place. We'll bake cake, we'll do confectionaries, we kill chicken, we invite friends over, we go to the stadium. It was a big do, you know, growing up. And it's so sad that after enjoying that lifestyle, growing up as a Nigerian, not that we were in another country, the children we have now, we can't replicate the same life that we enjoyed as children in the lives of our kids. So I mean, that is a lot. Is a huge load for any Nigerian to bear. You will agree.
Exactly. It's because we are not moving forward the way we expect. That's exactly. In those time, the economy was better. People were living better. The standard of living was better at that time. But now, everything, the economic situation, political situation, the security is not giving people the mood to celebrate independence the way we want.
Well, it's a good thing we're talking about the economy. Now, one of the things the president did mention was economic reforms. He said the administration is implementing economic reforms to address fiscal misalignment and prevent an uncertain future. I know every Nigerian tends to have their sentiment when it comes to this particular words or this sentence, but do you believe so far economic reforms has actually changed us and put us just towards the right direction? Because we know the challenge of economic reforms was one of the first things started doing even at the inauguration ground. So far, do you think it has been pushing us towards the right direction so far?
Yeah, well, if we study the speech very well, no, the president said that most of the policies are long-term policies. So, and he said that we might not see the effect immediately, and that's why in the economics we have short-run effect, we have long-run effect. So there are certain policies we introduce now. Before we can see the effect of the economy, it might take a very long time. So probably that is why we don't see most of the effect of those policies now. But actually, he said he has been introducing so many policies. But presently now, as regarding poverty, we can't see the effect of those policies for now. It's just that people are going deeper and deeper into poverty now. So maybe by the time we wait for maybe we wait till 3 years in the office, maybe we begin to see the effect. But presently now, I can now see that we actually see the effect. Are we talking about food now, or the cost of living, or whatever? They are going up. So if somebody is introducing policies now and things are still very tough for people, then maybe what we can say is that maybe we have not started seeing the effect of the policy.
Just before I start picking some of his words one after the other, I want to first ask generally, his speech generally, do you think he probably really attacked and addressed the situations? Do you think he was speaking as a father that actually knows what his kids are actually going through at the moment? Or was he just giving, just reading out scripts given to him by his special assistants, maybe? Okay.
Now, let's take this 64th Independence Anniversary speech now as an example. Now, if we look at when he started, he mentioned that I know what you people are passing through, how you are struggling with the cost of living, and then how to secure employment. He said he's aware. He said, declaring that he's aware of that situation. And I don't think it doesn't matter where you are living in Nigeria today. If you are saying you don't know what people are going through now in Nigeria, I don't think maybe that person is actually living in Nigeria. Because the way things are now, people are passing through a lot. We have actually got to a point now where people are knocking doors to be asking for food. A friend of mine told me in Lagos that people are now passing through the street and have been knocking gates, asking for money, asking for food. So that's how things are very bad. Now, another friend in Ife also confirmed that one to me, that some people come and knock his gate asking for money. So things are very bad. I don't think that anybody can say that he is not aware what is actually going on presently in Nigeria?
Now, I've not come across anyone who has said that they actually know people knocking from door to door. But let me give you an example of an experience that I had when the economy was still very good. I was on duty on Christmas Day some years ago, not with KAFTAN, and something happened that we couldn't get food to eat. My office was next door to a barracks. My office was next door to a barracks. We couldn't get food. The people who were bringing food didn't bring food. I slept in the office to make sure that I meet up my production target, to ensure production went well. So on the 24th, I was in the office, woke up very early in the morning. So by the time we were done, it was about 1 o'clock, from 8 a.m. in the morning till about 1. I didn't have food. So do you know what I did? I went into the barracks and I started knocking from door to door, telling them, look, Emmanuel, you have to feed me. You know me. There's no food anywhere. I came to eat Christmas food. And that was how I got food. So you can imagine the situation that Nigerians are going through now, that the economy is where it is today. So I definitely believe that that is possible. Now, taking a look at the 64th Independence speech, before we relate this speech to other speeches that the president has given in the course of his stay in office, breaking it down, some of the things I got from that speech is the can-do spirit of the Nigerian people, which he said. The president mentioned intellectual capacity, enterprise and industry of the spirit of the Nigerians. He also said, despite many challenges, Nigeria remains one. His administration is winning on security and natural disaster. I want to pause there a little bit before I go further as we discuss. That there is another issue that I want us to talk about. The president actually saying that his administration is winning on security and natural disaster. We all know what we've experienced in terms of natural disasters in recent times, Borno State and areas around there. The recent one that happened in Ondo recently, which is still very fresh. And of course, the insecurity itself. I really want your take on, as we dissect the speech, if you agree that indeed the Tinubu administration has done what it says it has done in terms of insecurity since it came on board.
Okay, in time of security, when I can say that maybe there's little improvement. Though I'm not staying in the north now, we know that north is the most volatile area in Nigeria, or region in Nigeria today. But according to what the president said, he said farmers are now going back to their farm because there's security there.
Let's use Ondo as a case study. You live in Ondo, but are farmers going back to their farms? What is the security situation in Ondo, if we lay it beside what the president has said, not going too far to the north? Okay,
do you know, Ondo is a peaceful state to some extent compared to northern states. That's why I don't want to use Ondo State as mayor for other states in Nigeria. Okay. But the major states, the major region, now we talk about the northern and the east. That's where we are experiencing crisis all the time now. But if I want to compare what is going on now with what happened in the past administration, I can say things are a little bit stable now. Unlike before, we used to read the news or newspaper or hear that killings and killings. I think that one has already a little bit reduced now. Though I'm not staying in the north, but based on what I'm reading from the newspaper and what I used to hear from the newsroom, I think there's a little bit improvement. So
it's okay for the Tinubu administration to claim that it has won the battle. In your opinion, this administration has won the battle on insecurity in Nigeria?
No, we cannot say. I don't think we can. No, because if we look at all the countries that actually experience all this terrorism and all those things, hardly can you see them overcoming it. They can only suppress it. So I don't think in Nigeria for now, in this short time, that we can actually eradicate all this kidnapping, terrorism now. But the only thing we can do, we can try, we can work hard to suppress them. We might not be able to eliminate them. I'm talking from Nigeria. We are in Nigeria, so I don't think because if actually we want to eradicate all these things, we need to do much more than what we are doing presently.
Okay.
No, the presidency did claim to be investing just enough or a lot in agricultural production, but the truth is, I don't think Nigerians are seeing it or even feeling it at all. Today, tomorrow, we still cry for hunger, we still cry for a lack of proper feeding. We talk about 001, 010 and all that. So coming to say the government is investing in mechanized farming with the local assembly plans for 2,000 tractors, things as such, it's more like statements in the air. And we can't really relate as individuals. And it's more like one of the gap in this presidency administration where he make very nice speeches, like very beautiful speech, but it's not relatable. We can't see it. We can't feel it as a people. I don't know if I'm being sentimental right now. I'm just saying it from my part. I don't know if other Nigerians somewhere are seeing it or feeling it. But especially for agricultural production, people are still clamoring and shouting for food. Just recently, we did the hunger protest. And we see where people had to run to the market and loot grains and potatoes and tomatoes and all that. It's really not relatable, don't you think so?
Yes, sir. Whereas regarding that of agriculture, though the president said that he is making tractors, farm tools and equipment available, but the question is this: how many of our farmers, how many of them will have access to all those things? That's the first question. We have farmers that are, majority of them are living in the rural areas. How many of them actually have access to that tractor now? That's the question. Most of those tools the government are claiming that they are making available. Most of the farmers, they don't have. Do they even know how to access those things? That's the question. So majority of the farmers, I don't know, the president said that some states now, they are now embarking on agriculture. Maybe they are making those things available to them. I cannot tell. But when we are talking about ordinary farmers who are living in the rural, I don't think they actually have access to all those equipment. So we cannot see the effect of those things if they don't have access to them. Can we say in those states now that if a farmer, you actually need a tractor, do we have a place where a farmer can go to get it? And they will make it available for him to use. So if all those things, the means of getting to those farmers in the rural areas, if it's not there, that means it's not there, then they will not have access and we will not see the effect of those things. And Nigerians, even though those people that are in charge, they might even be collecting money before they release it to those farmers. So if it will take farmers 2 or 3 weeks to get access or to have access to those tools, they will say it's better for me to do my work with my manual labor than to be stressing myself. Or if I'm based in Odo now, I have to be traveling to Akure to struggle to get tractor I will use. By the time I go to that place twice and I can't get it then, what do you think will happen the third time? Because I'll be spending money going there. So that is the issue. If we are talking about making them available in the local government, then we will say those tools or equipment will be very closer to people to have access to them. But if we're talking about somebody who will travel for 4 hours, 3 hours before he or she will get to state capital, before he will now negotiate and get those things, then take them to his farm. Who will pay for the diesel or whatever they want to use to transport those things to that place? So we still have a lot to do so that the farmers can enjoy those things. So it's not just about the availability, but it's about farmers having access to those tools. That's why we can now see the impact of those things. If they are just in one place, just keep them in one place, and they are not having access to that one, we cannot see the effect of those things. So as government is providing those things, they must also work hard to make sure that those things are available for the farmers that need them. That's when we can see the impact of those things.
The president spoke about the can-do spirit of the Nigerian people, intellectual capacity, enterprise and industry of Nigerians. If I can pick from what you've said, it is a known fact that most of this information that we get from the government is just on, there's this feeling, let me rephrase, there's this feeling that most of this information that we get is more on paper than in reality, because the bulk of Nigerians, if you ask any Nigerian on the street about this speech, as we're dissecting the speech, 98% of Nigerians will react almost similar to what, if not even worse than you have, because I took the liberty to actually pick out Nigerians' reaction to the 64th independence speech given by the president, which I am going to read out very soon. So that feeling is there that most of the things we hear is more on paper than in reality. That is the problem. Again, for the president to say that, you know, Nigerians are resilient, they are strong people, they not only in this or on this speech, he has said it in other speeches. So people are saying, is this resilience that Nigerians have, is this like a blackmail for government in, government out? Because Nigerians are strong people, you push them to the wall, they fly over. Is that part of the problems that we face as a people? Oh, let's dish it to them, they will take it. Nigerians will survive, they survive anywhere. Do you think that is part of the problem that Nigerians suffer from leadership?
Yes, there is everybody, even, you know, everybody will know that when it comes to Nigerians, we can endure anything. And even though the government can see that one in Nigerians. And that's why they keep on talking about that one, that we are very resilient, we are very hardworking, and all those things. Yes, because of what we are going through, yet we are still living in peace in Nigeria. Because of what people are going through a lot, yet, you know, it just say how many days of protest? How many days? We know what used to happen in other countries, but we will try to protest after a few days, but we go back to work. So that's why we can see that we are facing so many I mean, we talk about security now. We know what people are going. We talk about flooding the other time. We talk about so many things, high cost of living, yet the country is still moving on. So actually, we Nigerians are very, very strong. So
are we the problem of ourselves? Because this is supposed to be a strength, not a weakness, but just like the discovery of oil, taking our eyes away from agriculture, which was the mainstay of the nation, people or government in, government out, or will now use that as a tool against the people, saying they're resilient, they're strong people, they take anything that we dish to them.
It's just like the way most of Nigeria, just like the way we majority are thinking, it's just like government is not paying attention to their crimes. And the thing that we have been crying over the years, crying, and nothing's happening. It's just like people are just, okay, let me just face what I'm doing now. I don't want to rely on government anymore. Let me try to do what I can do on my own and survive. It's just like people are not, they are not putting their confidence and hope in the government anymore, because they are being disappointed again and again, and they are now thinking like, okay, well, let me face my business. Don't let me depend. You know, developed country, those citizens, they always look onto their government for almost everything, and government is always there for them in the time of troubles, in time of everything. I can still remember that I watched videos during this COVID in some countries when the government was sending money to their accounts. So
dropping food in front of their houses to ensure that everyone was fed.
So people can now depend in that economy, people cannot depend on government to be there for them in the time of trouble. But here, if we are hoping for that kind of thing, you will be disappointed. So, major in Nigerians today, majority of them, they are not depending on the government anymore. We are providing water for ourselves now. Do you want to wait for the government water now to survive? So we are providing water for us. What of electricity now? Majority of people are switching to solar now because they cannot depend on the government electricity anymore. So you build house for yourself. Where is the housing scheme anymore? No housing, no housing. I don't know. Maybe it is available for some set of people, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking for it, but I don't think I can access it now. So you build house for yourself. You construct a gutter for yourself. I know what we used to do in our own street to make the place more tolerable. So it's just like we do everything for ourselves in Nigeria, and people are not ready to depend on the government again because every day is disappointment.
Now let's talk about another in the air statement the president made, talking about foreign direct investment. He said due to ongoing reforms, Nigeria has attracted over $30 billion in foreign direct investment in the last year.
Yes.
If we have attracted over $30 billion, I really tend to ask myself at this point, am I still in Nigeria? Because I'm really not seeing it. Anire, can you help me out on this one? Are you seeing it? Because
I'm sitting beside you.
Talking about
we are together in this.
$30 billion investment over the last year. I mean, it's still in the air for me. I don't know if you could relate to that.
Yes, I heard it. Yeah, we have been attracting foreign direct investment over the years. So many. But if you look at what happens in the last few years, most of those multinational companies, they are leaving the country. Why? You can remember so many of them, they closed up in the last few years. As some are coming, some are leaving. That is the problem. Because our environment is not conducive for their survival. Because of the high cost of production. High cost of production is driving them away. So many companies, so many multinational companies that were existing in Nigeria today, and most of them, they have left now. So we can say thank God that they are coming now, but we are just hopeful they will be able to stay for long so that the economic situation will not drive them away.
Talking about the economy, Ezekiel, I know you have more questions. A few years ago, there was a video on social media, I don't want to mention the country, where it was a documentary, it was cut out from a documentary, where a white man went to an African country, went to the market to change the dollar. They went with a wheelbarrow, and when they changed a few dollars, the equivalent in the African country's currency was put on a wheelbarrow. It was posted on social media not too long ago. It was posted on social media, and Nigerians started commenting. When I go home, I was worried, and I said a prayer that I do not want to wake up to a country, I don't want a situation where Nigeria will become such a country where our naira, when exchanged to a few US dollars, will become a load on the wheelbarrow. We are almost getting there, just a few years down. And it's not just the quantum or the size or the quantity of the country's currency to a few US dollars, the fact that that amount of money could barely buy anything. Where fixing of hair, they'll tell you 1 million of that naira. Of that currency, I beg your pardon, to buy a pair of shoes is about 2 million of that currency. People watching me have picked by now the African nation I'm talking about, and unfortunately, we are almost, I pray we don't get there, but for all that we've seen is a direction that probably that we are almost there, God forbid. Now, I don't know about Ezekiel. I'm itching to talk about the National Confab, the National Youth Conference declared by the president inside that speech. And that has garnered a lot of reactions from Nigerians. A 30-day confab to address diverse challenges and opportunities confronting the Nigerian youth. I want your reaction to that part, of that speech. Do you think it was appropriate? Do you think that is what we need now in Nigeria, in the myriad of problems that we are going through? I really want a reaction to the youth conference declared by the president.
Yes, I think it is a good idea. There's nothing wrong for the government to create the opportunity to hear from his people, particularly the youth. In Africa, we are so much fortunate in Africa today. Why? Africa is the most youthful continent in the world. And that is a blessing to us. And that shows if we can take care of those youth, then we will have a very great or bright future. So I think it is a good idea. There is nothing bad if the government can create the opportunity to gather the youth together and hear from them. And then from their suggestions, from their discussions, he might be able to get some information that can help the government to do something that can help the economy. Because government must listen to the people, because they voted for them to represent them there. And they must create that opportunity to hear from them so that it can help them in the policies they want to introduce to the economy. And those policies can even target exactly what they want, the youth want in the economy. I see it as a good idea, provided they will gather those information and they will implement their resolutions.
Now, before Ezekiel comes on to ask his question, oh mine, I did not. Oh, okay. They just told us now that we need to go on a short break for tea. When we return, our guests will still be here as we continue the discussion. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us, it is Daybreak Africa, where we're taking a look at the 64th anniversary speech of our president and also others. We'll take a look at the end governance speech, the inaugural speech. We'll put them side by side to try to understand the mindset of the president. If we as Nigerians are the one who don't understand the president, or maybe there's a wisdom or something else to pick out from the speech, the reason why we have a guest in the house today. So, Doctor, I know Ezekiel has a question that he wants to ask, so I'm going to just switch over to Ezekiel so he can drop his bombshell.
Now, before I jump into mine, she did mention a very valid point about the confab he spoke about.
Yes.
We have had previous confab before. We have had the Iranians, what's the name again?
Oren Saye.
and that people have always said it was complete, it was necessary, it was important. We all thought at some point we were going to adopt the entire document, but nothing happened. And now we're talking about a youth confab once again.
The constitutional review is still there.
Yes, it's still there.
Just hanging on the shelf. That is there. The 2014 Jonathan Constitutional Conference. Look, before, let me just add this.
Right.
That conference cost roughly 10 billion naira of taxpayers' money. That Jonathan's conference. It lasted for 4.5 months. 600 recommendations for improving political, economic, social structures, security, ban of state funding of pilgrimages and religious matters. In fact, it goes on. And Nigerians believe that that template is enough to point us towards the right direction. That template of that confab is enough to point us towards the Nigeria that we desire. But all these are on the shelf, sitting down somewhere after all the money spent. So Nigerians are saying there is no need for the youth confab when we already have templates that were not used. Over 10 billion naira. So we're going to spend more money for this, and we're trying to cut down on spending. We're trying to cut down on the hardship the Nigerians are going through rather. Why come up with a youth confab when we already have a template from 2014 that is yet to be opened and implemented? He has spoken about your Oronsai report. Every Nigerian has called. Even when the president when he was sworn in, the first call was, please go back to the Oronsai report so we can have a headway. But no, what we got from the speech is another gathering of Nigerian youth, and of course, without the cost implication not being talked about. We really want your take on this.
Okay. So the reason why I said I like the idea is because we are talking about the youth here. We are talking about the youth, and we are not talking about politicians now. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Yes. We are not talking about the gathering of the politicians now. We are talking about if it's exactly the way I'm thinking now. It's just gathering the youth all over the country, and I believe that not the youth that are politicians. So I believe if they can gather those youth together across the country, and if government can listen to them, I believe that their resolutions can assist the government in the formulation of policies. You know, the reason why it is very difficult to implement some of these confab, the former one and the other conferences and so, is because there are some things in that, some resolutions that is very difficult to implement. It's one-sided. Let me say it's one-sided. It's tending towards the benefits is tending towards a particular region, and that is why it is very difficult at times for the president to implement all those things. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Yes. So if most of the resolutions are what they are not, there's no sincerity in some of them. I'm not saying all of them are very bad, but it's just that some of those resolutions favors a particular region more than the others, and that's why so the president are not. In fact, I can say the present president is the only one that I even see that even has interest in that confab. Other ones, they are not even interested in it. They will tell us that maybe we have the National Assembly, we have this, so why are we bypassing them now? We want to be implementing. So most of the former presidents were not even interested.
Now, talking about the conference recommended the setting up of a technical committee to work out modalities on how best to approach the issues and advise the government accordingly. It recommended that the sharing of the funds paid into the Federation account among the 3 tiers of government should be done in the following order: federal government 42.5%, state government 35%, and local government 22.5%. The conference equally recommended that the percentage given to population and equality of states in the existing sharing formula should be reduced. On the administration of land as contained in the Land Tenure Act, the conference recommended that the act should remain part of the Constitution but should be amended to take care of local concerns. Look, this is part of the recommendation from that conference, and the document is there for anyone to read. I'm just asking, if we have such document, a document where you spend so much money, a document where you brought notable Nigerians for 4.5 months. This one is just the youth conference is 30 days. Now the question is, what is a guarantee that after, remember there's inflation, remember the Naira has fallen, then the economy was still vibrant, they spent over 10 billion for 4.5 months. Of course, they're going to spend money again. What is the guarantee that after this youth confab or youth conference, whatever recommendation, I'm talking about our history as Nigerians, We have proof. We have the confab that has never been used. We have the Oronsai report that has never been opened or implemented. What is the guarantee that after all the money and time spent with this, that whatever is provided within this government we implement, or any government coming after Tinubu will run with this recommendation?
It depends on the government. It depends on them. It depends on what they want.
Where does the citizen come
so
in
if
here?
the government
Where do
just
Nigerians in general come in here?
So if the government is not interested in implementing, then I don't see the reason why they should gather the youth together and waste their time. There's no point for it. If the government want to use the opportunity to gather them together and offer them something, I believe they can do it in a better way, because there's no point for you to gather them together for good 30 days and then they get some resolutions and then abandon it. It's just waste of time. So it now depends on the government. So if they are actually sincere about this, I believe that if they can do it, I believe they can get something valuable out of it that they can implement and that can help the economy.
Well, it's not the first time things as this is being carried out. That's what you're trying to say. You have done it before.
Yeah, that we have a new president now. So we have a new president now. We cannot, all the president cannot be the same.
Okay.
So this one might be different. The new president might be different.
But how different will this president be if he hasn't listened to the call to take a look at the 2014 confab document? He hasn't done anything to look into the Oronsai document, making sure that they run with all the recommendations in it. So how can you convince Nigerians that if you have documents that can create, and Nigerians are saying, please go on social media, go back and let's run with what we already have, and you're not doing that, you're saying you want to do your own, which is the new one. How do you convince Nigerians that you implement after 30 days?
Yeah,
is the question.
Well, I don't want to hold the president alone responsible.
Okay. Who do we hold responsible?
I think those Nigerians are also part of the problem.
Okay.
Nigerians don't even want the truth at times. The Nigerians. People are in power at times. They have influence on the president. President cannot be everywhere. He puts some people in place to represent him. But at the same time, we know Nigeria, at times those people, they can frustrate the effort of the president if they don't want it. We know what is happening between Dangote and the NNPC in recent times. You will be surprised, how can this one happen in the economy? So we cannot hold the president responsible.
The president is the minister of petroleum. Why won't we hold the president responsible? Is the minister of petroleum is the one that he's there. He knows the decisions that are being taken. He swore himself in as the minister. If I were the president by now, I would have appointed a minister of petroleum, because obviously, like before you came in here, before we came on air, you were actually telling me about the fuel situation and how it's biting and affecting you as a person. And it's the same across board. Every Nigerian you call, the song is a dirge. Is a dirge. Nobody is singing any praise song. Nobody is dancing to anything. One would expect that by now the president will wash his hands off as the minister of petroleum, because definitely he does not have the answer. Because if he does have the answer, we won't be where we are right now.
Yeah, it still depends. So it still depends on information they are providing for the president. It still depends on the information the president is receiving or are receiving from the people.
I plead to the fair.
So yes, no, do you know? Okay, look at me now. I'm a lecturer now. Do you know at times you'll be surprised as a lecturer now? Do you know at times I used to arm my student when we are exam will start. At times I may not know when we are. The student they have the information. I may not have that information.
Why? As a lecturer, you're supposed to give the information and not the students.
You can ask most of the lecturers. Will tell you, some of our lecturers will tell you that we are getting information from the students. Okay. Wow. So that's why I'm saying
that
at
is hanging
times
somewhere, and I don't know, Ezekiel, I want you to react to this.
No, I think you should be done.
So that's why I'm saying that at times the president rely on those ministers to execute.
The president is a
something.
Nigerian.
And
He's
then
on social
the
media.
information.
He has a wife.
I know, but at the
he
same
has
time,
in-laws
at the
from his
same-
wife's side
at
who
the
are
s-
crying too.
At the same time, the president cannot be everywhere. That is why they have
No,
ministers.
we know he's in Aso Rock, but he gets information. He watches the TV, he reads the newspaper, he's on social media. He has his wife.
That's
who
what I'm
sleeps
saying.
with
It
him at
depends on
night
the
to say,
information.
oh, honey, this is what Nigerians are going
Okay.
through, honey. Aside the ministers who are there to do their job. Well, I don't know, Ezekiel.
Well,
I don't know.
That's
I'm
what-
getting emotional, I guess.
But I know that for the president to succeed, for any president to succeed, those people that are surrounding them must be on the same page. It is one thing for you to carry one thing. It is another thing for others to be pulling it down.
With all due respect.
So
With
Nigeria
all
is
due
a very
respect.
complex country, and as we are trying to make things work, some people will be frustrating the effort.
You know,
it's possible.
Ezekiel, I just noticed that every guest that we bring on the show will always say the same thing. They talk about the ministers, they talk about the president, and look, it's not only you, sir. Every guest that has come on the show has actually said the same thing that you were saying, that maybe the information that you're giving to the president is not the right information. So if we've had 10 guests in the space of a month plus sit on this seat and say the same thing, don't you think it is high time we take a look and create a topic to take a look at the ministers surrounding the president
concur.
and
I
those
concur.
giving the president information?
I concur.
If every guest comes in here and say probably they always say the president can be everywhere, he only reacts to what they tell him, then I think the ministers, they are not telling the president the right situation going on in the country, and probably like the president has threatened to change the ministers that are not working. I think it is high time we'll take a holistic look at the ministers around the president and let Nigerians know that they're not doing their job.
Yes, so some of them are not
That's
doing
my
their job.
sentiment.
Not doing their job, or
They are
let's
not
just say
doing their job,
holding
and
them
they're not
responsible.
no, holding responsible is saying it mildly. Let us call a spade, because if every guest comes in here and we have proof that guests have come in here to say the president can be everywhere, and that the information that they are giving the president is what he's reacting to. We're talking about speeches, and Nigerians are saying the president is insensitive, appears to be insensitive to the pains of Nigerians, and probably the people around the president are the ones not telling him the truth. So something should be done, definitely. That's what I feel.
Yes, I agree. Though it still depends on the president too.
Okay.
It still depends on the president.
Oh
But
my God.
you know, at times you rely on those people. They are there to, since you as a president, you cannot be everywhere, you put them there to represent you there. And when you hand over to them, you are expecting them to do the correct thing and give you feedback. So if they come back and inform you that what you asked us to do, we have done it. It now depends on, maybe the president will have the opportunity to go and verify what they said they have done, to know maybe they have done it or not.
Now, before
But if the president just believe that, okay, they said they have done it, okay, it's okay.
now before
So follow-up matters.
Now,
Follow-up matters.
we're talking about the past conference. Participants at the conference equally recommended that to reduce the cost of governance, government at all levels should reduce the number of political appointees and use more of staff members drawn from the civil service where occasion demands. Ezekiel, I think we need to take a look at the 2014 and push. We need to start some kind of advocacy right here in KAFTAN TV, using this our platform to also lend our voice to the presidency, this present administration, taking a look at the 2014 confab as a roadmap to the Nigeria that we desire.
We did look at it some time ago, but if we have to bring it up again, I think it will be a good development nonetheless.
Yes, so
It
over
will
to
be.
you for the questions you have.
We tend to suffer at this point. Allow me to use this word. I like using mouth word, like she knows, but in this case, the truth is we are suffering when it comes to oil and gas in Nigeria. Personally, I was thinking, I believe the president would have issues as oil and gas would have been the first on his paper, and try to address it holistically. But rather, it was just more like a bypass. He just had to just brush through it real quickly. And I think, don't you think issues as oil and gas at this point in Nigeria should be a topic, should be a situation where the president probably holds by the neck, and addressed strongly?
If you have been following what those things that have been going on for a while in the oil and gas industry, you will know that we even need the mercy of God, because it's just like, let me use the word Dangote use, Kaba. We have many people that are benefiting from the importation of oil.
Is the president one of them? Because he's the Minister of Petroleum.
I heard about it, but I have not confirmed that.
Interesting.
I've heard about it, but I've not confirmed. It. So that's why I cannot say definitely.
Yes.
But people in power, they are the ones who are importing the oil to the country, and they want the business to continue. They don't want the business to stop. And that's why this battle between them and Dangote has been on, NNPC and Dangote, because what they want is that we want you to continue to produce, but we still want to continue with our importation business. So that's why the price of oil cannot come down for now until they are able to resolve it now. And that's why we have been hearing all kind of, and I talk about the refineries now. It's because of some people, they don't want the refineries to function. We have been spending billions of naira and dollars on those. But in fact, I was even surprised when I read I listened to the interview of the lawyer son. What is the name now?
Femi Falana.
Falana.
Okay.
I almost wept when I gone through the interview. I know, all this while since the beginning of this year, I'll be expecting this the Port Harcourt refinery to start functioning, because all the news I'll be hearing will start production next month. Next month will become another month. Until I read, and I was almost wept in my office. So all this while, nothing was going on, because the company, the Fanana said the lawyer of that company wrote to them that there's no agreement between them and federal government.
No activity.
That's exactly what he said. The lawyer wrote.
Well, that's a.
And I'll be expecting this refinery to start production, or for me to just have the bombshell that no agreement with the federal government. So that shows me that a lot of things are going on. Some forces don't want that refineries to work.
We've been told that we don't have time. We've been told a long time ago, but we just wanted our guest to actually pour out his heart. If you just joined us, our topic today is 64th Independence, Tinubu'S anniversary speech, others, its impact on citizens' psyche. That was our topic this morning. Our guest, Dr. Akinlo Taiwo, is an economist as well as social critic. We appreciate you for being on the show today. But again, we're inviting you very soon, because this is not a finished discussion. Away from all the reactions of the president's speech right from day one, you've heard our guest, say his own side of it. Every man has his opinion when it comes to issues like this, and who are we to argue with the opinions of our guests? Because again, the reason why we bring our guests here is for them to be as genuine as possible, to be as real as possible, and to speak from their heart, from their mind, how they see certain issues. So we'll definitely accept all that our guest has said. This is how we end the show this morning. On this note, we want to appreciate everyone who watched the show. We appreciate you so much. Until next time, my name is Anire. Binitie. Stay positive. Bye for now.
Have a great day. I've been Ezekiel, Ogar.
Yes, there is news on your device. But hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do a lot of
politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside the pot, and I will...
Religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa.
For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Startimes.